Welcome to Toffee TV. Tim Cahill, Baz, has had some things to say this week. He was on Soccer AM on... No, he wasn't. He was on Goals on Sunday, which is probably a better programme now. Probably funnier.
Probably.
Well, I don't know. I don't watch either of them.
No.
He said, regarding the Everton situation, he said, it's confusing. They are confused too. They have lost their identity as a club. There is nothing they are really building around. Before, there was a basis and a group of players that was built, and we were adding to it and looking for a long-term plan of how to evolve as a football club. Now it seems like they are just making signings and the chemistry is not there, and on the pitch they are not linking well. It's difficult to watch because of the quality. You have to be careful what you wish for. If you want an owner with lots of money, they have that, but it doesn't always bring success overnight. The fans want some passion and identity. When you look back at Roberto Martinez, for example, maybe it was impatient and waiting for that style, and under David Moyes, maybe they thought it was getting stale, but now you can appreciate what they have lost. Interesting comments on... I mean, first of all, his comments are totally justified, and it's really the first time I've heard, I suppose, an ex-player come out and say it like that. There's been a lot. People have said different things, but I think that he's the first to come out and just succinctly just get it right about what the issues are, without making a big song and dance and talking about all the other things. For me, he just nailed it.
Yeah, it's right, isn't it? We've got a collection of players that don't fit together, and I think we probably have lost a little bit of our identity, because I think we're all confused. I think the fans are confused. I think the players are probably confused themselves, or a bit disinterested in what's gone on. I'm hoping Farhad Moshiri's not confused, but he looks like the whole thing is just an enigma wrapped in a contradiction at the moment, because it is, though, because it's we want to be this, but we're settling for this, and we want to spend that money to buy these players and get to there, but we've brought someone in who just to avoid it. It's all over the place. Instead of going, you look at other teams and you'd like, okay, we're hoping we're Man City or Tottenham, whereas the first few years were a few mistakes, and then someone went, this is where we're going, and drove the bus in that direction. But
is it to do with some identity there? Do you think that the big problem is that it's not, we're not looking for one identity, we've been left with 3 or 4 different identities? You know what I mean? Because there's a little bit of Moyes' team still in there, of course. There's not much left of Martinez, but there's players who played under Martinez. There's Koeman's players. There's Sam players now. So there's just a horrible mismatch of players, and the players that were bought weren't. And then also then you've got the Steve Walsh factor in there as well, which might be a different vision from what Ronald Koeman had. So you've got all these different identities and all these different players, and also you've got like Allardyce year one, which seemed like some of the players like Ashley Williams were just bought to replace quick fixes, to replace the likes of John Stones, things like that, things where there was no actual thought process, long-term thought process. Even if it's a short-term fix, it wasn't like a short-term fix. It'd be like, well, this will get us to here, and then we'll have that there and that there. It's all just been all these different pieces that don't fit together.
I think Koeman just worked on a 3-year cycle, didn't he? So he was just looking, thinking, well, we'll buy Ashley Williams, and in 3 years he might need moving on, but we'll have got here, and he was looking that way. But then the summer happened, didn't it? And that's been the issue. You can have players who've played under 3 or 4 different managers and still be a good team. But you've got to have someone that can unite them all. The identity's not there because we've royally cocked it up, really, and we've cocked it up because, again, you know, I want to leave it all on Ronald Koeman, but him and Steve Walsh, when you sit down in the summer, you plan what you need. So you look and go, we want to play this way, and so therefore we need to buy this player. I use Klopp, you know, and I don't like using the Llama, but I use him at times to like have an example of, and Pep's just done it, so probably the good managers, Pochettino done it. Look at, have a style in your mind of how your team wants to play, and buy players that go into that team. Don't, you know, Oxlade-Chamberlain was available for Liverpool. They had a free run at him because everyone looked at him at Arsenal and went,
Salah.
What is he? Mo Salah.
Free run.
People were just looking, going, he's a winger, he's done alright for Roma, but so what? They've got him and he's gone. He's dead fast, and we play on the counter attack. So we're just playing wide, and if the worst comes to worst and he gets 10 goals, he's dead fast. So we'll get goals from him just legging it through and crossing it. That's what we want to play that way. You know, Pochettino's got players in to go pressing, and you needed the power. He got Wanyama in and players like that, and you know, the Oxlade-Chamberlain thing. Then you're looking at Guardiola. Last year had his first season. I know it's easy from a position of money, but we've got money. But Guardiola had that season and just went, our full-backs are not great.
And the goalie.
And the keeper. So we give Bravo a go. It didn't work out right. We need a new one, and we need some full-back. And he went and got it. Whereas ours seems to just be like, oh, he's available.
Yeah.
He's a good player, him, isn't he? We'll get him.
Yeah. And
we'll get him. You know, and it was a collector like that. Even I'm made up. We've got Walcott. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But I think he just got him because he just become available. If he'd have been, we really want Theo Walcott, he's the one I want because it's key, then that's fine. It's like Wilshere now. Oh, Jack Wilshere's coming out of contract. Oh, we'll have him.
He's available.
We'll have him. Now, if you've got if it was Fonseca or Marco Silva or someone in charge and they were like, I want this technical footballer, Jack Wilshere fits the profile of that because he'll get the ball and he'll take it up the pitch or he'll pop. You'd go, yeah, alright, I'm particularly that bothered by him, like, but if you think he's good and he's going to fit in. But I just don't get the feeling that that's happening. It's like, if Daley Blind's available in the summer, Everton go for him and buy him. And I'd have him, to be fair, because I think he can do a couple of jobs, but we'd just be buying him because he's a Manchester United player they don't want. It wouldn't be, I've actually identified Daley Blind as this is who we need. And that's why I don't think we've picked up enough players from Europe who can do roles. Do you know what I mean? It all seems like I could have got a 12-year-old kid to look on Championship Manager and go, him are alright.
Well, I think it's interesting is, I mean, a couple of the points he made. One where he spoke about Moyes' teams, just trying to sort of, they had the core and they tried to just graft onto that some players, which they, you know, like Yakubu, we tried that with them. We never could quite get 2 or 3. But I think what he's saying is that the core was there. Moyes built the core, and when it wasn't quite working, say like a Richard Wright, he quickly discarded that and brought someone in quickly in to fit in that within the parameters of the cash he want. But those core players that he had, he obviously trusted them. They were like his trusted lieutenants. The, you know, Jagielka and Arteta and Cahill himself, and obviously more. And everything else was like grafted onto that sort of skeleton. You know, he had his firm favourites, but that was for a reason. That's because they were the people he could rely on.
He knew what he was getting.
I think that's what he's talking about. That until Everton get that, we're still harbouring back to that. Jagielka, Baines, Coleman. We're still referring to those 3 players from Moyes' time. 3 of Moyes' players that he could trust. We're still relying on them to be the players that we trust. And I think that's one of the big problems, which it's not identity, it's not just identity of style, it's identity of who represents you on the pitch. And I think that's what, you know, you look at some of our players and you look at some of them they've brought in and they're just not liked, are they? Like you look at like Ashley Williams and you look at Schneiderlin, they're just not liked. There's nothing, whether it be performance or not, even if it's performance, you can forgive performance at times because you look at the makeup of the player. This time, first season for me, he was shaky as hell, and I didn't really want him anywhere near the team. But what he had in himself, and what his leadership and his just general, what he brought, his leadership was just, you wanted that. I wanted more of that, even if it wasn't on the pitch. It was off the pitch. You wanted more of that, and you look at that at this team at the moment, and you can't really see that. You can't see players who will hold their hands up or sacrifice themselves for someone else. There's very little about. I mean, I think Sigurdsson might be one of the only ones where people go, you know what, I like him, because you can see that it means something to him, or you want to believe that. But there's not many others about, and I think that's where these players fall between the cracks.
Yeah, that's the makeup of the side, isn't it? And there's been too much chopping and changing, and we wanted Jags back in there, and he's still our best defender, but he's 35. And if you're a team that's going places, you don't rely on your 35-year-old. If he comes in and has to play half a dozen games, great. Yeah. But and then if he stays in because he's playing really good, great. But I wouldn't want Funes Mori to replace him, or Ashley Williams to replace him. Do you know what I mean? No. So that's an issue immediately. Love Leighton Baines. Think Baines has been great since he come back, but we've got no one to challenge him, and that's a problem. And it's them kind of areas where you're looking and going, well, if you can get half a dozen of those players in that team, and you go, that's me core. You rely on Pickford, so Pickford's never even a conversation, because you can rely on him, and Coleman's in there, but he's got John Joe Kenny pushing him. But there's other bits where the midfield is wrong. The midfield is all wrong. It's totally. It needs replay. I've said it before, Rooney will benefit from a technical coach, right? But even this season, coming up next season, I don't think he'll play as many games.
No, and he shouldn't.
No. Unless he's playing there. But he should have to be playing well.
The thing I would say is that this didn't start. I don't think it did start under Koeman. I think it started under Martinez, and it probably started under Moyes, and I suppose it was a financial situation, but it was a case of replacing good players with good players, and I don't think we did that. And when we should have been looking to not replace Baines, but looking and having that good backup, we didn't. Jagielka himself as well. We haven't had the crossover of good player onto good player, and the players have gone on too long, and then the player they've been replaced with hasn't been good enough. And I think ultimately that's the biggest problem. We haven't bought good enough players, or players that fit in a certain type, but that's where your identity comes from. And I think that's what people just want now, don't they? They're just striving for that, and they think that comes from the manager, simply, doesn't it? It comes from the manager.
I think what Farhad Moshiri's got to do is he's got to come out and speak to, whether it's Everton website or to him write notes on his iPhone or whatever, but he's got to come out and go, right, the plan's continuing. This year's been a bump in the road, but we're quite clear who we want. Get the manager, and the CEO's getting changed. So again, there's a little bit of flux. If they're getting Brands in, if he's coming in, I don't know, but if he's coming in, get him in place, get the manager in place, get a few players, and just go, look, this is the project, this is what we want. With that, you have to hope then that results come. I suppose the only almost guaranteed way of doing it, if there's a guaranteed way of doing it, and there probably isn't, but the way to get that core and to get someone who you're going to rely on is to go and get someone like Sean Dyche, who knows how to build that kind of thing, and would put a basis in of their core players, know what I'm getting from them. But I don't think he would capture the imagination.
No. But I still think that you don't need, it doesn't have to be like a manager, it doesn't have to be like a Sean type. I think good managers still foster that amongst their players, that need to win, and then and doing anything to win, and all being on the same page. And once you've got that, the fans buy into that, because if they see the players together, then it brings you together as a fan base. and if everyone's on the same page, that starts from the manager, filters through the players and goes to the fans. That's not rocket science, is it? That's just basics. That's just like, you know, if you're at the end of the game and you see your players all coming over and they're all celebrating in front of you, as fans, you want nothing more than that. You want nothing more to see those players understand what it means to you. You see what it means to them. You see the manager the same, and that's infectious, and that gets you through the tough periods, because you go, well, at least he's give a fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least he's care, because I've seen them low when we've lost, and I've seen them buzzing when we win, and it's not just, you know, giving it the old at the end of the game. It's coming over and going, yes, and also not, you know, you're not being fake. I mean, there was times last season where, you know, you seen it was great. There was that, was it after the City game? It was all the young players. All the young players come over, and like Lookman and Davies and Dorman. Well, it was.
Oh, it's Dorman.
No, them, no. The young players, and they all came over, and Lookman, and they were all like, yes, and he was like, fucking hell, that's our future. And then before that, obviously, it was like Barkley and Lukaku and Stones, and before, and it was like, then that's our, and it looked like it meant something to them. And you know what I mean? I mean, that will only, listen, footballers will come and go, so it's not a case of, well, it doesn't mean nothing to them because they'll move on. But if it means something while they're playing for your club, then that's all you can ask for. And I just don't see that in any of our players. Well, not many of our players. And I think Cahill's in a great position to talk about it, because, you know, there's a man who, when he signed for us, was just an average footballer. In maybe in there he probably wasn't, but I think in terms of football he was. And I think through coaching and his desire, made himself into a very good footballer. And I heard him on Goals on Sunday saying when he went to New York Red Bulls, he become an even better player, because he started listening to Thierry Henry, who was talking to him after games, saying how much better it, you know, even when he won, going, but if we'd done this and we'd done that. And then Henry said, I did that because there's no point talking about what you should have done when you've lost, because you've lost. It's when you're winning you should be talking about it. So Cahill then said, well, I'm going into my latter stage in my career, but I'm getting better because I'm listening to someone like Thierry Henry. And he said, I took that to the Australian team and said, this is what we need to be doing, and that made everyone else better. And I see there's someone who is prepared to keep learning and keep getting better.
Give it to Cahill.
Yeah, give it to Cahill. No, but the point being is that you know, sometimes you can have lesser players with a better attitude than a good player with a terrible attitude, and it's a mix, isn't it? And it's about, I don't know, you've got to, Moyes had a, I know people used to always say Diddle and Dave and all this, but Moyes just had a knack for sniffing out, and if they weren't right, sometimes if he was forced into a panic buy, he didn't have any problems in just going, nah, you're sitting on the bench, mate, I've made a bit of a mistake there.
He didn't, he took his time because he had to take his time, didn't he? That's the reality. It's not like the summer where we were just buying anything and we're going to classing and people like that. Feel like, you know, go and sit on the bench or go and sit out the way where I can't see you. If he was spending £3 million, it had to be worth £3 million. So he'd go and do the digging and about the character and you're right, occasionally it wouldn't work out, but there wasn't many that didn't work out.
I just hope that, I really do hope that these discussions are getting made now. You know, we did a poll on Twitter, when would you like to see Sam Allardyce leave? I think something like 77% was like now. And it's the same with, I suppose it's the same if they're going to make the change. If they are making the change, and it's the same with Walsh, you've got to get those people in place, haven't you, to get those decisions made early, so that, because that stuff doesn't happen overnight, you know, and because we've seen that in the first season, because Koeman came in, you know, middle of summer, or you know, and then because Steve Walsh came in after him, it was spare at the moment buying. Well, we'll have you, and we'll have Blassie, and it was all just like grabbing at what we could without it. And then this summer, ironically, with both of them in place, it was even worse. Well, we've got loads of money, we'll just buy. So there needs to be a lot of thinking, there needs to be an identity, there needs to be a process, but that can't start till the people are in place.
And they need to create that passion in the team that the fans can latch on to. And our fans are brilliant when they're up for it. And so if they're latched onto that, the momentum will start moving forward again the way we want it to. But at the minute, the divisions are there to see.
Special things can happen when everyone's pulling in the right direction. It's as simple as that.
Of course it is. If everyone's positive, things start happening positively for you, and that's the way it is. The players feel it, and teams come and start feeling that we can't win here. You know, we can't. These will beat us because of that. And that we've seen it when we go to places. It can be nothing else other than that, can it? You know, you go so many times. When we play Liverpool, their fans don't expect to lose, and we don't expect to win.
Well, just finally continuing that. I mean, just from the same conversation, Henri said. He said when you used to come to Goodison it was completely different, and I don't know whether he's just been, you know, but he said it's like, you know, you always knew you were in for a fight and you had to change the way you played and blah blah blah, and they were right on top of you and all that. He said, I just don't see that now. And he said, but I don't know, again, I don't know what the Everton fans want. He said, because they drove out Martinez and you know, and Koeman and but that just made me laugh, because I just thought no one drove out Martinez. Martinez drove himself out.
Martinez couldn't defend.
So I'm sick of hearing this narrative from people who are uneducated, and you don't have to go back that far. You go back 10 years and look at the average position under Moyes, 5th, 6th, 7th every season,
every year,
pushing the City weren't even in the equation. Tottenham
finished above Spurs,
finished
Liverpool,
finished above Liverpool 2 years in a
row.
On the run. So what do we want? Well, we want levels of that level of consistency back. Our levels in 3 of the last 4 years have been shit. Or been shit. Let's get it right. And that's what we want back. And it's funny because I don't know what they want. Well, what we don't, whatever you say about Martinez, let's not rewrite history on him. He had 2 poor seasons. The second one you can sort of forgive, but the third one was just embarrassing as far as I'm concerned. Yes, he got us to two cup semi-finals. I appreciate that, but semi-finals are nothing. They're nothing.
He just forgot to defend them.
But he did.
But all this, like, you don't know what they want. We want to win things.
Yeah,
it's that simple. And the top 6 haven't been the top 6 for 100 years. City and Tottenham are very new to that, and other teams have had a go, and it moves around. It's just the fact that the way it is. Liverpool went in the top 6 a few seasons ago, and 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Liverpool's striker was Ricky Lambert.
Got beat 6-1 on the last day of the season by Stoke.
So things change.
That's football.
Things change.
Stoke are going down. Liverpool. Yeah.
No, but they can change. So all of that nonsense that they come out with, it's just that.
It's like they say to you, can you just be happy finishing where you are and let us get on with what we're doing?
Yeah. Let us fawn over the top 6, these clubs that we care about, you know. You just be happy being 8th or 9th and just go, oh, thanks for finishing there. And that's bullshit.
But what made me laugh is when he said, what does Everton fans want? Tim Cahill had just told them
what they wanted.
What Everton fans wanted. So he said, open your ears. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. Cahill, was he right? Of course he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Click the bell for alerts, and if you want more videos, join us on Patreon.